The 2023 Miami Grand Prix will likely go down as a humbling one for Sergio Perez and many of the fans who believed he's a genuine threat to Max Verstappen for the World Championship. Despite starting 9th on the grid with Checo on pole, the Dutchman took just 15 laps to clear the other cars out of his way. He was just as fast as Checo on hard tyres 20 laps older after the Mexican made his only pit stop, and Max passed him easily once he switched to the medium tyre at the end of the race. With Max Verstappen now firmly back in control of the title race, here are 5 massive obstacles we feel Checo has to overcome if he has any hope of making 2023 a genuine title fight. Number 1. He needs to be a much better qualifier. This might be a strange point to make, given Perez has qualified on pole in 2 of the past 4 races, winning 2 of them. But overall, he's not been able to get anywhere near close enough to match Max over a lap. From his Red Bull debut to the Miami Grand Prix in 2023, Verstappen has beaten Perez 41-8 in qualifying head-to-heads. And those 8 wins include Jeddah 2023, where Max's drive shaft failed in Q2, and Singapore 2022, where Max ran out of fuel on his final hot lap, both weekends where Max looked comfortably quicker over the weekends running. Although if Max Verstappen can beat you starting 9th on the grid while you're on pole, it might not even matter. Number 2, he needs to become more selfish. In Perez's defense, it's an understandable approach in the context of his career. When he joined Red Bull in 2021, his F1 career was hanging by a thread after Racing Point, now Aston Martin, bought the Mexican out of his contract to bring in Sebastian Vettel. Before the 2022 Monaco Grand Prix win, Perez was on 1-year contracts, giving Red Bull all the leverage in terms of team politics. It might explain why he's been so willing to play the team game since joining the team. Perez famously stepped aside while leading the 2022 Spanish Grand Prix, despite Max Verstappen having a faulty DRS system when there was only 19 points separating them in the championship. You could make an argument it was way too early for Red Bull to use team orders, but Perez's willingness to go along with it in a title campaign could be seen as a sign of weakness, while Max Verstappen is known for being exceptionally ruthless on track. Number 3, he needs to be more than a street circuit specialist. It's a cool nickname to be labelled F1's King of the Streets, and there is some merit for that. Since joining Red Bull, Perez has won 5 times for the team, all of them on street circuits. But even team boss Christian Horner has admitted he'd like to see the Mexican win on more conventional tracks. After Baku 2023, Horner said he's excelled at street circuits. It's the second time he's won here, 1 in Singapore, 1 in Monaco, 1 in Jeddah. We just need to get him going at the proper circuits too. And with Perez winning only 5 races to Verstappen's 28 since becoming teammates, it was a blunt but accurate point from the team principal. Perez's driving style is specialised in apex speed and corner exit, a style that works better on street tracks that tend to have longer straights and rewards accuracy on exit. On conventional tracks that are generally faster and more sweeping, Perez loses out compared to Max, the latter taking a more aggressive approach to corner entry. Overall, Max's style is superior at more tracks across the calendar than Perez's. Number 4. Even Perez's unique selling point needs some work. Managing tyres in the Pirelli era of F1 has become a vital part of winning races, and Miami 2023 was definitive proof that Checo's known ability as a tyre whisperer might not be as prominent as many say. Perez himself admitted his medium tyre stint at the start of the race cost him a chance at victory. He struggled to handle the difficult Miami conditions. After overnight rain and the cars being full with fuel, he was unable to get away from Alonso, while Verstappen easily cleared the early traffic. When Perez switched to hards, Verstappen actually extended his lead by a couple of seconds, when Perez should have been eating into Max's advantage. It made the Dutchman's win look very easy in the end. It's races like Miami that can often separate the good from the truly great drivers. And if Max is beating you at your own game, what does it say about your title credentials? And number 5, the team is built around Verstappen's extreme driving style, and Perez needs to change that. It's hard to argue that Red Bull isn't Max's team at this point. He's gone through multiple teammates since debuting for them, with every one of them, including Daniel Ricciardo, struggling to stay with him in terms of results. Perez has already lasted longer than most, but he needs to do more to convince Red Bull to have a more balanced approach in development. When writing for the Players' Tribune, Max's former teammate Alex Albon described how the setup of the team suited Max's driving style over his. Max likes the car set up in a certain way that's hard for a lot of drivers to sync up with. I like a lot of front end and nose. Basically think front end sensitivity. When I got into the Red Bull, there was so much nose on the thing that if you blew on the wheel, the car would turn. If you play Call of Duty, turn your sensitivity up to the highest it will go. That's what it's like to drive that car. And if that's the environment Perez has walked into, it's going to be very difficult to topple a generational talent like Max, with the team so in sync with his needs and wants. If Perez wants to be able to take the fight to Verstappen, he needs to be able to adapt his driving style to be able to beat Max in the same car, because his current style just isn't working. Do you still believe in a Sergio Perez title campaign? Let us know in the comments, and if you like the video, be sure to subscribe.